We're in our recording studio where we broadcast our videos all over the world. And looks like Toyota sent us a 4Runner with bright orange paint and TRD Pro package. Well, this one's certainly loaded up with all the goodies. 55 grand, wow. If you want to see how the 4Runner compares to the new Ford Bronco, we drove a Ford Bronco Raptor. Costs a bit more money than this 4Runner, like $74,000. Well, link for that video at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click, and watch. The 4Runner has some positive features and negative ones, so let's get the negative ones out of the way first. Alright, on the negative side, this 4-liter V6, 270 horsepower, been around forever. Kind of outdated. Used to use it in the Toyota Tacoma truck. They quit doing that. Still using it in this. Decades old. And transmission-wise, on the Ford Bronco, you get a 10-speed. On the Jeep Wrangler, you get an 8-speed. But here we get a 5-speed. How long ago did they generate this? 5-speed automatic? I haven't seen one of these in ages. And with an ancient drivetrain like this, fuel economy isn't that impressive. 16 in the city, 19 on the highway claimed, with 17 overall. Not very impressive compared to some of the competition. As we do with all of our videos, we need to take this out in the real world to get some numbers for you. By comparison, the huge Toyota Tundra pickup truck we drove is rated at 17 to 22 mpg. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click, and watch. Here's our city mileage, 14.0 mpg. And on the highway, cruising at 75 miles per hour, our mileage 18.5 mpg. But if you go a bit faster or do a lot of passing, it can drop like a rock. But there's a positive spin to this. This 5-speed is almost indestructible. I don't think I've ever seen one break. Not unless you have more than 300,000 miles on it anyway. Same with this engine, bulletproof. Plus this vehicle is totally made in Japan by Japanese workers and Japanese parts. Been that way for, I don't know, 2 or 3 decades. So I think they could probably put these together blindfolded than what they're doing. The quality control is outstanding. I don't think I've ever had a recall on these. Bottom line, if you maintain this the way it's meant to be, 300,000 miles is the norm. Not likely to get that off a Ford Bronco or Jeep Wrangler, although I like all 3 vehicles. And with the TRD Pro, get these big wheels and tires with the emblem on the wheel, and we get skid plates underneath. Unfortunately, we get this stupid fake hood scoop that serves no function whatsoever, except to make a bunch of wind noise on the highway. And the TRD Sport exhaust, which sounds like, I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube, crapola. Drones and drones and drones. I can't stand it, but that's me. Maybe you'll like it. If this is my vehicle, I would take this TRD exhaust off. But that's just me. Not you, maybe. And one thing I like about the 4Runner, very, very simple controls. Few knobs. None of this computer scrolling through the info screen nonsense. Very basic vehicle. Very solid. I like it. And it looks like we got a lot of ground clearance, so let's take this out and do some driving. Oh, and by the way, we got the roof rack, and if you're going to put a bunch of stuff up there, fine, but if you're not, don't get it because it makes a lot of wind noise on the highway. Certainly doesn't help fuel economy either. Well, it doesn't hurt that much. We're going to do some ranch patrolling in the chopper, but it needs some maintenance, so I guess we'll have to do it in this nice orange Toyota. By the way, I have a bunch of equipment in the back storage area, so if you hear a bunch of rattling, it's not the vehicle. 4Runners don't rattle. It's just the cargo. And the first thing you'll notice in the 4Runner, the steering doesn't have much feel or feedback. It's kind of dead and rubbery, but that's typical in a lot of these type of vehicles. After all, this is basically a truck, and a dated one at that. But you'll get used to it. This TRD package comes with Fox shocks on the suspension and does an excellent job absorbing impacts and ruts. Very, very comfortable. The equivalent to the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. By the way, this 5-speed automatic has a manual shift mode. Just flick the lever over to the left and choose your gear. Right now I have it locked in third gear. And one of the reasons I did that is not because I want third gear, but keeping it out of the automatic mode, don't hear that TRD exhaust droning in my ear all the time. The exhaust sound of the TRD exhaust it sounds like a sick UPS truck. Really bothers me, but like I said, might not bother you. What's up, boys? Checking up on you. Got some new additions to the fleet, I see. And somebody left the gates open, so I have to get the helicopter and go round them up. That's the mean one. He's just waiting for me to step out of this vehicle so he can show me his horns, and I'm not going to fall off. What are you doing there? Oh, no. This is a family channel. Don't do that on YouTube. One of the advantages of a 4Runner is a narrow width, which allows it to squeeze in narrow trails that the bigger rigs can't go into. You know, I've been driving this all day in some rough roads, and I've yet to put it in four-wheel drive. The traction with these big wheels and tires is that good, and the ground clearance is too. So what's my take on this 4Runner after a week of driving? Well, it's like this. You know, I like Jeeps, especially the Gladiator. I like the new Ford Bronco, but if I'm going to put my money on the line and go out four-wheeling, I'm going to take the 4Runner. Mainly because of its outstanding reliability and durability. I don't like breaking down, I don't like walking. And right now I'm about 30 miles from the nearest road, so breaking down would be an issue. I don't think this 4Runner is going to break on me. So yeah, it's outdated, they haven't changed anything in a couple decades, but some people like that. I guess I'm one of them. We did a night drive and headlight test video on YouTube. If you didn't see it, you see it now, part 3 of the video. Let's do it. It's dark enough. Let's see what these headlights do and do some other night driving. And here's what the taillights look like. Not very big. Not very bright either. In fact, the license plate light's a bit brighter from where I'm sitting. Ah, emergency lights. Definitely bright. Outside mirrors blinking too. And the ones on the front aren't that easy to see if the headlights are running. That's better. Same here. And the interior lights do a pretty good job lighting up the cabin. With the transmission reverse, and this is what we see. Not the biggest screen I've ever seen, but it's a small vehicle and kind of dated, so let's see what that does. And certainly the clock's easy enough to see. Gauge cluster lights up pretty good. And this is a pretty simple rig. Not too many lights to illuminate in here because there aren't that many controls. Very simple, the way I like it. Alright, let's check out the headlights. That's what we're here for. We've got the low beams on. Bright enough, a bit lower than I would like. They don't go over the bushes. Well, they do, just barely. Let's try the high beam setting. Definitely bright in the middle. Alright, down the street. Headlights off. Low beam. High beam. Center reaches out. Low beam's adequate. Since this is an off-road vehicle, let's take it off-road and check out these headlights. And we're out in the desert. As you can see, the cutoff in the dirt is pretty short. Could be a moose out there. I wouldn't see it, so turn on the brights. Now we're better off. Low beam. High beam. And let's see, there's a cactus there. If you're going off-road, it'd be a good idea to use the high beam brights. And I don't think my camera wants to focus in this dingy light. Good thing there's a campfire at the end of the road. I might have gotten lost. Alright, we have an auto-dimming mirror, which is fine for highway use. You don't want auto-dimming mirrors in city driving because it blacks out the mirrors. Makes it kind of dangerous because you can't see what's around you, but fortunately we have a disconnect switch. The way we should have on all vehicles, but don't, so Toyota gave us a disconnect switch. I'm happy. City driving, we'll turn it off. The low beam settings more than adequate for city driving. And let's see if we can light up some road signs on the freeway in the high beam. Didn't make much difference. Let's try the longer distance. Alright, better results. Not outstanding, but adequate. Now we have the dark, dingy street test. Don't want to run over any cats or drunks. I'd say these are adequate.